Welcome to Animal Kingdom, your ultimate destination for all things wild and wonderful. Here, we dive deep into the fascinating world of animals, bringing you closer to the incredible creatures that share our planet. From the majestic lions of the savannah to the mysterious depths of the ocean, we explore it all. Join us on this adventure as we uncover amazing facts, share heartwarming stories, and witness the beauty of wildlife in its natural habitat. Today, we'll take a deep dive into the world of elephants. Elephants are truly remarkable creatures, known for their intelligence, social behavior, and impressive size. In this video, we'll explore their fascinating characteristics, habitats, diets, and much more. From their complex social structures to their incredible memory and problem-solving skills, elephants have so much to teach us. We'll also discuss the challenges they face in the wild and the conservation efforts underway to protect these majestic giants. Stay tuned as we uncover the wonders of the elephant world and learn why they are such an important part of our planet's biodiversity. Elephants are magnificent creatures known for their intelligence, social behavior, and impressive size. Species. There are 3 species of elephants: the African bush elephant, the African forest elephant, and the Asian elephant. Size. Elephants are the largest land animals. African elephants can weigh up to 12,000 pounds, 5,443 kilograms, and stand up to 13 feet, 4 meters, tall at the shoulder. Diet. They are herbivores, consuming up to 300 pounds, 136 kilograms, of vegetation daily, including grasses, leaves, fruits, and bark. Social structure. Elephants live in matriarchal herds led by the oldest female. These herds consist of related females and their offspring, while males typically leave the herd when they reach adolescence. Communication. Elephants communicate through a variety of sounds, including trumpets, rumbles, and even infrasound, which can travel long distances. They also use body language and touch. Intelligence. Known for their high intelligence, elephants have excellent memory, problem-solving skills, and exhibit behaviors such as mourning their dead. Elephants face threats from habitat loss, human-wildlife conflict, and poaching for their ivory tusks. Conservation efforts are ongoing to protect these majestic animals. Elephants are truly remarkable and play a crucial role in their ecosystems. Elephants are important for many reasons, including biodiversity. Elephants are keystone species that help maintain the biodiversity of the ecosystems they live in. Elephants create pathways in forests, dig water holes, and break down branches, which helps other animals. Seed dispersal. Elephants are a major way that trees disperse their seeds. Help us for fertilizing land. Elephant dung provides nutrients for plants and other animals. As cultural icon. Elephants are a cultural icon in India and Asia. For tourist attraction, elephants can bring in money for local communities. Elephants set an example for how to take care of the elderly. When an older bull loses its molars, a younger bull will sometimes help it by chewing food for it. Elephants are also losing their habitats and ancient migratory routes due to expanding human settlements into their habitat, agricultural development, and the construction of infrastructure such as roads, canals, and fences that fragment their habitat. As a result, human-elephant conflict is rising as more and more elephants come into close contact with humans. This often leads to elephants destroying crops and property, as well as occasional human casualties. These negative interactions can result in the retaliatory killing of elephants. Human-elephant conflict leads not only to negative interactions and loss of income, property, and lives, but also reduces community tolerance for conserving elephants. Addressing complex issues like human-wildlife conflict requires approaches that not only reduce the immediate impacts of negative interactions, but also addresses the drivers and root causes of the conflict. WWF works with various stakeholders, particularly wildlife managers and communities, to incorporate tools and technologies such as electric fencing, deterrence, and other tools to prevent potentially harmful encounters. We also engage in efforts to educate communities that lead to behavior change that will minimize negative impacts. We help community response teams to respond to instances of human-elephant conflict and work with communities to develop alternative livelihood opportunities to help minimize economic impacts from crop loss. To reduce human-wildlife conflict in the long term, WWF works with governments and other stakeholders to address the root causes of human-elephant conflict, such as habitat loss and fragmentation and unplanned development. Community and government rangers and game guards help protect endangered species like elephants, and WWF helps train and equip them. In the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area, KAZA, the world's largest terrestrial conservation landscape, which harbors more than half of Africa's elephants, WWF aims to secure a future for these animals and other wildlife by supporting the work of the KAZA Secretariat and the 5 KAZA partner countries, Angola, Botswana, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe, and their local communities through better protection, increasing the knowledge of their seasonal movements, and promoting community-based conservation initiatives in collaboration with the private sector. WWF trains rangers in elephant monitoring and anti-poaching techniques and works with communities to manage and reduce conflict with elephants. At the borders of Cambodia and Vietnam, WWF works with park staff to patrol protected areas and assess elephant distribution and numbers. In this transboundary landscape, WWF works to protect and enable movement of the elephant population, of which the population on the Vietnam side is significant and the largest remaining wild elephant population in the country. WWF works with Traffic, the International Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network, to reduce the major threat that illegal and illicit domestic ivory markets pose to wild elephants. Traffic also manages a global record of ivory seizures called the Elephant Trade Information System, EDS, that helps to identify routes and countries of particular importance in illegal trade. To help wildlife inspectors, law enforcement, and researchers distinguish between different types of ivory and help identify illegally trafficked ivory products, WWF published the Identification Guide for Ivory and Ivory Substitutes at the request of, and funded by, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, in partnership with traffic and ivory identification experts from the USFWS Forensic Laboratory. It serves as an objective, scientific resource for identifying the most commonly found ivories and artificial substitutes in trade. China's elephant ivory ban is a historic milestone in the ongoing effort to save an iconic species. But with China's markets closed, markets elsewhere remain open and continue to attract consumers. And as more and more Chinese travel internationally, nearly 200 million Chinese tourists travel abroad each year, incidents of elephant ivory smuggling are on the rise. WWF is working directly with these countries to support the closing of their elephant ivory markets and leverage international policy and diplomacy channels. A big focus for WWF is also changing consumer behavior to reduce elephant ivory purchasing and create a new norm that elephant ivory is not socially acceptable. We are working with leading online retailers, social media platforms, tourism companies, and creative agencies. Strong partnerships are already in place with the travel and e-commerce sectors, with commitments to avoid promoting, handling, or selling elephant ivory. WWF is also working with a leading market research firm to conduct annual surveys of consumers to better understand consumer attitudes and desire for elephant ivory so that we can change social norms around ivory and reduce demand. Through this research, we are able to identify demographics of elephant ivory purchasers and consumers, understand their underlying motivations, and develop effective strategies to influence them. There has been significant debate in regards to woodland destruction by elephants. Elephants debark and push over trees for feeding and strength trials. Damaged trees may be susceptible to wood-boring insects and fungi, as well as wind and brushfire damage. There is no consensus as to whether elephant feeding is the sole cause of woodland damage. Other factors such as a rising water table causing increased soil salinity may result in difficulty for tree roots to absorb water. Additionally, there is evidence that fire caused by drought significantly alters trees' propagation. Therefore, the challenge of tree regeneration may not be directly attributed to elephant feeding habits. There is argument not only about what causes woodland damage, but how to solve it and whether or not it is a part of natural elephant vegetation cycles. Culling is the legalized killing of an animal and is a controversial and debated topic. Due to habitat fragmentation, there are increased numbers of elephants in smaller spaces of land, thereby contributing to overexploitation of natural resources in the area. Elephant culling has been used in areas where there are too many elephants for the habitat to support. Comparisons have been drawn between culling and legal hunting measures that are taken to manage deer overpopulation. Deer, like many animals, if they overpopulate, have to go further to search for food. These searches often lead them into cities and highways, which may increase human conflicts and/or getting injured by vehicles. Legal hunting is a preventative measure that averts deer from becoming overpopulated and reduces instances of starvation and injuries. Overall, African elephant populations are classified as threatened. The justification for culling is generally that the number of individuals has surpassed the habitat's carrying capacity, the amount of available resources that a habitat has to sustain life. Culling is not an indication of the overall conservation status of a species. Entire populations are generally culled within minutes in order to reduce distress on other herds in the area, prevent abandoned offspring, and minimize trauma. Refer to poaching repercussions. Long revered for strength and size, elephants have been sought after for large game trophy hunts. Affluent individuals, primarily of American and European origin, spend between $15,000 and $20,000 to hunt an elephant. A game warden usually supervises the hunting expedition and a technician accompanies them to prepare legal trophies, usually from the tusks and feet. Meat is distributed amongst local people in the area. In some African regions, large game trophy hunts may generate more income from mediocre, average to below average, lands than from conventional agriculture due to the challenging environment for crop growth. China's elephant ivory ban is a historic milestone in the ongoing effort to save an iconic species. But with China's markets closed, markets elsewhere remain open and continue to attract consumers. And as more and more Chinese travel internationally, nearly 200 million Chinese tourists travel abroad each year, incidents of elephant ivory smuggling are on the rise. WWF is working directly with these countries to support the closing of their elephant ivory markets and leverage international policy and diplomacy channels. A big focus for WWF is also changing consumer behavior to reduce elephant ivory purchasing and create a new norm that elephant ivory is not socially acceptable. We are working with leading online retailers, social media platforms, tourism companies, and creative agencies. Strong partnerships are already in place with the travel and e-commerce sectors, with commitments to avoid promoting, handling, or selling elephant ivory. WWF is also working with a leading market research firm to conduct annual surveys of consumers to better understand consumer attitudes and desire for elephant ivory so that we can change social norms around ivory and reduce demand. Through this research, We are able to identify demographics of elephant ivory purchasers and consumers, understand their underlying motivations, and develop effective strategies to influence them. In 1989, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES, a global agreement among governments to regulate or ban international trade in species under threat, banned the international commercial trade in elephant ivory. Poaching rates dropped following the action, but began to surge again around 2010 due to renewed consumer interest in purchasing elephant ivory, largely in Asia. After campaigns by WWF and other conservation groups, governments in problematic ivory markets like Hong Kong, Thailand, the US, and the UK were pushed to take action to clamp down on illegal and unregulated domestic trade that was fueling the poaching. The real game changer is China, by far the largest market for elephant ivory, which banned domestic trade of elephant ivory as of January 1, 2018. Since then, Chinese consumer desire for elephant ivory has dropped and wholesale prices of elephant ivory, even on the black market, have declined. WWF has been working since to reduce consumer demand for elephant ivory and ensure the ban is effectively enforced. Elephant numbers have dropped by 62% over the last decade, and they could be mostly extinct by the end of the next decade. An estimated 100 African elephants are killed each day by poachers seeking ivory, meat, and body parts, leaving only 400,000 remaining. An insatiable lust for ivory products in the Asian market makes the illegal ivory trade extremely profitable and has led to the slaughter of tens of thousands of African elephants. Between 2010 and 2014, the price of ivory in China tripled, driving illicit poaching through the roof. If the elephants are to survive, the demand for ivory must be stopped. As of 2011, the world is losing more elephants than the population can reproduce, threatening the future of African elephants across the continent. Bull elephants with big tusks are the main targets, and their numbers have been diminished to less than half of the females. Female African elephants have tusks and are also killed, which has a terrible effect on the stability of elephant societies, leaving an increasing number of orphaned baby elephants. There are still more African elephants being killed for ivory than are being born. Elephant populations continue to decline. Elephants cannot be manufactured. Once they're gone, they cannot be replaced. Dr. Ian Douglas Hamilton, DPhil, CBE, founder and CEO of Save the Elephants. Elephants and humans share a long history throughout our civilization. The expanse of the African habitat and the enormous size and aggressive posture of the African elephant has allowed it to resist captivity. But the Asian elephant has lived alongside humans for over 4,000 years and is imbued with reverence, tradition, and spirituality across many cultures. In Thailand, the elephant is a national icon. It has a national holiday designated in its honor, and elephants can receive a royal title from the king. Yet while elephants have lived alongside humans for so long, there is still much we don't know about them. With the largest brain of any land animal, they are smart, sentient, social, and empathetic, qualities we strive for ourselves. We share so many characteristics with elephants that they may well be more like us than any other animal. But we are risking their future and, in the process, damaging the integral habitat required for biodiversity throughout Asia and Africa. Elephants are a keystone species. It means they create and maintain the ecosystems in which they live and make it possible for a myriad of plant and animal species to live in those environments as well. The loss of elephants gravely affects many species that depend on elephant-maintained ecosystems and causes major habitat chaos and a weakening to the structure and diversity of nature itself. To lose the elephant is to lose an environmental caretaker and an animal from which we have much to learn. We can save elephants by implementing stronger protection policies for wild elephants at both local and international levels of government, stronger enforcement and legislative measures against the poaching and illegal trade of ivory, better management of natural elephant habitats, better education about the vital role of the elephant in ecosystems, more viable alternative economic opportunities for those whose livelihoods depend on elephants, improved treatment for captive elephants, and, where appropriate, Reintroduction of captive elephants into protected sanctuaries that allow a natural replenishing of endangered populations. These are just some of the goals that numerous elephant conservation organizations are focusing on around the world to prevent the extinction of wild elephants and the destruction of their habitat, and to improve the quality of life for those elephants in captivity. Elephants are running out of space and time. Before we know it, they will be gone. Unless we collectively stop the senseless poaching and consumer demand for ivory and allocate protected natural habitat in countries where elephants and other wildlife can thrive now and in the future. Because, without elephants, just what kind of world would it be? Elephants are among the most intelligent of the creatures with whom we share the planet, with complex consciousnesses that are capable of strong emotions. Across Africa, they have inspired respect from the people that share the landscape with them, giving them a strong cultural significance. As icons of the continent, elephants are tourism magnets, attracting funding that helps protect wilderness areas. They are also keystone species, playing an important role in maintaining the biodiversity of the ecosystems in which they live. During the dry season, elephants use their tusks to dig for water. This not only allows the elephants to survive in dry environments and when droughts strike, but also provides water for other animals that share harsh habitats. When forest elephants eat, they create gaps in the vegetation. These gaps allow new plants to grow and create pathways for other smaller animals to use. They are also one of the major ways in which trees disperse their seeds. Some species rely entirely upon elephants for seed dispersal. On the savannas, elephants feeding on tree sprouts and shrubs help to keep the plains open and able to support the plains game that inhabit these ecosystems. Let's unite to protect these magnificent giants of the animal kingdom. Elephants are vital to our ecosystems, and their survival is in our hands. Together, we can ensure a future where elephants roam freely and thrive. Thank you for watching this video on elephant in our animal kingdom. We hope you enjoyed exploring the wild with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest adventures. Hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our exciting content. Stay wild and see you in the next video.